Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Cephalon Cast. I'm Heldy.
And I'm Virgil.
And we have no idea what we're doing.
Not a clue.
None at all.
Alright, so figure we're just going to tell you a little bit about ourselves so you get an idea of the people that you're listening to right now.
All of one fan.
Yeah. Like stated before, I'm Virgil. Out of the two of us, I've been playing this game the least.
Like 2 months.
It's been about 2 months.
You're into it. With my guiding veteran hands, I have molded you into a competent Warframer.
With Hildy's strong, defined hands.
Inside joke. Anyway,
so yeah, I've been playing for a couple months now. Mm-hmm. Not a new gamer by any means, so...
No. Like, if Warframe's not your first game, you can take up Warframe pretty easy. I mean, like, it has elements of a bunch of other games, like, you know...
No, I played Destiny.
So have I.
I'm sorry.
It's a terrible game. It is so bad.
In the time that I've been playing, I'd have to say that by far my favorite frame, and I would say the most friendly beginner frame, is Rhino. Mm-hmm. He's been doing pretty good. I can solo a lot of things and just survive, and I like that. I generally play tanks in other games, so it's a good fit.
Did you know that Rhino is such a good frame that he's the only frame that actually has a mastery rank cap to him? You have to be MR2 to be able to build him. Fun fact.
Another fun fact, did you know Rhino was built from the Juggernauts?
Well, that's a theory. A game theory. So, yeah, my name's Heldy, and I've been playing pretty much since the start of Warframe, off and on. I missed out on the Founders Pack because I was part of that like first wave of players that came in after the WTF is Warframe from It's Old Biscuit put out. And I didn't get the Founders Pack, and by the time I would have gotten the Founders Pack, it was already gone. So
it seems like you missed out on a few good things in your life.
Yeah, a lot of good things in my life, like
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Oh, that's a fun story. I had the opportunity to buy $167 worth of Bitcoin whenever it first came out. And I didn't do it because it was a dangerous investment, and I didn't want to sacrifice $167. That would have, at the peak last year, would have been well over $250,000.
And now we're here doing a podcast.
Just, for funsies. I'm one of those like veteran players where I have, 16 accounts. No, it's like 8. It's like half that. It's like 8. I have like 8 accounts because every time that they redo something, like whenever they redid the star map, I made a new account just to see how the new player experience was, and that's just the kind of player I am. Yeah, and I'd have to say that in the last 5 years, currently this is the best it's ever been for new players. Favorite Warframe. Probably be Mesa, even though she's impossible to grind for solo. It just takes too long. You either have to get a group, and everyone has the coordinates to be able to farm her boss, Mutalis Alad V, or I would just buy her with Plat. That's one of the only frames where I'm like, it's okay to buy her base model with Plat. Everyone else you can grind for, and of course you can buy Prime Warframes with Plat. That's okay, but do not come to me and say that, I bought
Banshee with
Plat. Don't do that. I'll lose my shit on you.
He did.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
It was an accident.
We had it in our clan.
It was an accident.
It was available.
It was an accident.
You could have bought it.
I did.
With credits.
All of it except the blueprint.
Oh my god. But no. What's your favorite gun?
Favorite gun so far. I really like the shotguns in this game. And Right now, it's kind of up in the air between the Corinth and the Heck. I really like the Heck. I'm still working on trying to get the Vacor Heck, but that's a different grind.
Yeah, the Syndicate grinds just takes time.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. Unless you're going to grind out the mastery and then just buy it from someone. But
I mean, there's just something like satisfying about shooting a bunch of people with a shotgun.
Yeah, punch through on it.
Yeah,
just and then with the Corinth, you have that airburst grenade, so it's like you don't even have to aim. You can just point in the direction and they'll die, which is great as long as they're far enough away. They have to be like in a sweet zone where it's like not too far, not too close. But it is one of the best things in the game whenever you shoot an airburst grenade and it just smacks off the enemy and still kills them.
Yeah,
it's fun. But yeah.
What about you? What is your favorite gun?
Probably the Corinth.
You don't say.
I do like that gun. I like the gun a lot. The way it sounds, the feel of it. I mean, I would just, if it was an actual thing, I'd just be cleaning it all day long and caressing it, and just,
This is my shotgun. There are many like it.
There are many like it, but this one is mine. But no, besides the Corinth, I'm a big Sabaris fan, even though I haven't actually played with the Sabaris Prime yet. It's the lever action rifle. We got the Dex one for the... It has 3 variants. The base model is okay. It's decent. You have to put like 8 forma into it for it to be really good. And it's in my opinion, it's barely like sortie level ready. The Dex though, it's like you can put 6 into it and it's sortie level ready. But the everything I've seen from the Prime, it's pretty much almost ready to go out of the box. So.
Oh. Now, how do you personally feel about the Grakata?
Clem?
Outstanding.
Since they did the mastery rework and they rebalanced all of the weapons, the Grakata actually puts out more damage than the Soma now. And, you won't hit your target, but unless you're like point blank, and you'll instantly kill it. And the weapon economy for it kind of sucks, but twin Grakatas though, more DACA.
Yes.
Get
what you're saying. Twin Grakatas.
Yeah.
Good if you 3
have
inches
ammo
away from them.
Well, okay, so the twin Grakatas are a little bit more accurate than just the base Grakata, which makes no sense. Because you have one in each hand, you would think it'd be all over the place, but...
Well, no, that's just covering more distance.
Yeah, that's true.
That's physics. Trust me, I watched Rambo.
You with the arrow and shit?
I've actually never seen Rambo.
You've never seen Rambo?
I've never seen Rambo.
Oh my god. Just watch the first one. The other... Is it 3 total, I think?
I think there's like 19.
19? There's not 19 Rambos.
There is. It's like Rocky. Rocky 8. He comes out of retirement, breaks his back, gets in a wheelchair, eats some eggs, walks out of a wheelchair, sweeps the leg.
Oh, so he does UFC now, not boxing?
I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, McGregor. Oh, boy.
Fun stuff. Anyway.
We are getting off topic. Anyway, back to
we don't know what we're doing.
We have no idea what we're doing. And that's okay. Because you know what sucking is in the process of being successful? Sucking is being almost good at something. Which is step 2.
To be good at something?
Yeah. No, to be kind of good at something. The stage after that is to be good at something.
I mean, if you're not good at something, then you suck at it.
Yeah, but sucking's the first stage.
But
everyone sucks at first.
Everyone
that's
sucks.
called foreplay. Got you.
Alright, so now that we've discussed our, favorite warframes and weapons, How do you feel about Digital Extremes?
So DE, all right. I actually played Dark Sector. I think was the name of their first like solo game, because they worked on Unreal Tournament. Everyone played that. At least all the cool kids played that. Yeah, Dark Sector was okay. I remember it being okay. It was very Resident Evil 4-esque, and
I think that's partly because of when they pushed that out at the time. Those sort of survival, third-person games were.
I believe Steve has said in an interview where it was like Dark Sector was not the game that they wanted to put out. Like, they had all these assets from War. They wanted to put out Warframe,
but
back whenever they had constraints, and then they laid a whole bunch of people off, and Warframe was like their last like Hail Mary throw to try to be successful as a company.
Guys, if you did not know this, and there are plenty of good videos, there's a 2-video just documentary over Warframe, and goes in more into Digital Extremes. It's a good watch. I recommend that. But if you guys weren't aware from this, other large companies that produced MMOs and just other AAA games told them being DE, that Warframe would not be successful because it is sci-fi,
and that they wouldn't be able to update it frequently enough. Meanwhile, we get a new Warframe and weapon like every month, basically. Not a new Warframe. Warframes take some time. Like the new one's coming out next week, and she was like one of those Warframes where they had the idea for her, they made her, and she's one of those Warframes that got reworked in production. Like they didn't like the way she was playing or what her niche was, so they just reworked her before releasing her. So she's had a while before coming out.
But I feel like as a company, that is a good move. Too many games, especially MMOs nowadays, push out stuff earlier than they need to, and it's unbalanced. And
DE has done that. I mean, they have put out things that weren't ready, and they've made mistakes. I think the that no clip documentary that you brought up earlier, they even go into whenever Kubros were first introduced, you could pay plat and re-roll the color and pattern of it, and then like give it away to your friends or whatever. And I kind of remember this. I think this was part of this was one of those like stints where I wasn't playing Warframe. I was doing other things, or I wasn't around. But I remember Kubros being like a big deal right off the way, because especially the gigantic ones with the Lotus skin pattern on them, like those were going for hella plat. But DE had a little option to pay plat, and you could re-roll it, and then some guy re-rolled like 200 times in a row, and they were like, oh well, that wasn't what we intended, we made a slot machine. So DE, unlike EA, for example, EA would look at that and be like, oh, look how much money we can make off this. DE was like, no, that wasn't what we intended, and they removed it. And that's one of the characteristics that makes DE one of those good companies. So
they have good morals.
Yeah, which is hard to find in. Are they considered AAA? I don't think they're considered AAA.
They're not AAA. They're still kind of in that in between.
Yeah. I mean, they make a game that's better than
most AAA
games. Like, I don't know, Destiny 2 and Destiny. Everything that 343 Industries puts out. I'm not angry. No.
I'm just sad.
I'm just sad. If I ever want to play Master Chief, I just color my Rhino green and go to town. You can really make him look like Doom Guy.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Anyway,
and speaking of that, I ran into a pink rhino earlier today.
Okay, so Easter was a couple weeks ago. Did you ever see a rabbit rhino?
I did not.
I saw like 3 or 4 rabbit rhinos, and it's like white and pink, and they had this one fist weapons. I forget what they're called, but you can like put them on. They look like little paws, and he would crouch down, and it looks like a little bunny. Well, not a little bunny, big bunny, but he looked like a bunny.
That is great.
You don't get that from other games.
No.
That's why, Warframe is by far my favorite game. And that's why I've put like 1,500 hours into it across 8 accounts. Like, you don't get that from like Warcraft. No. I mean, Warcraft.
Some people do, but it kind of...
Some people do.
It's a different grind. That's something that I was going to bring up. I think that Warframe does a good job with their replayability and how much you can just come back to the game and do stuff. Whether it's, going through more missions, clearing nodes, doing fissures. There's just so many different things that you can do, not PvP, that are just pretty fun. And, it's... Some people say it's a grind, but playing other games, playing one of the most notorious grindy games, like the whole existence of this game is to grind, RuneScape, I feel like the grind's not that bad.
No. Well, I mean, like, for the most part, any Warframe can be obtained within a minimum of three runs of the boss, between like 3 and 10. And for the most part,
Ivara begs to differ.
You never farm for Ivara. That is a special case. You go for Affinity
and mods.
And the other spy rewards. Yes. You never farm for Ivara, because RNGesus will make you suffer for that. However, the other frames that are tied to bosses, and now they're getting to the point now where all the new Warframes, you have to get them through like special sorts of grinds for like Octavia, her Neuroptics. It's survival in the Orc and Derelict.
Yeah, and then you have, I believe it's the systems that are the specific Octavia treasure rooms.
Mm-hmm. So we're kind of getting into that sort of grind now with the newer Warframes. And Nidus, I hear, is notoriously rough to obtain solo, but
it's doable solo. It's just not. I don't want to say it's not pleasant, but it's a noticeable jump. But I will caveat this by saying that, technically speaking, Warframe is not meant to be a solo game.
No, it's not. But you can.
Yes,
especially if you have Rhino.
Yes.
And like if you're a new player just starting off, you can pick Excal and he will get you through the star map. But now that he's obtainable on Mars from Lieutenant Krill, it's not really worth getting Excalibur right off the bat, in my opinion. Like, you're better off getting Volt, because Mag's also obtainable through Phobos, and her boss is the Sergeant. Is a joke. He's just a normal Corpus dude. You just go up to him with a shotgun, blow his head off, and then you get a part for Mag. Takes less than a minute. I've literally gone through the entire mission of the assassination mission on Phobos. I've gone through it in less than 2 minutes. Like, run to the boss, kill boss, run to the exit. 2 minutes. That's not me trying to speedrun. I'm a terrible speedrunner.
Yeah.
But just saying, she's obtainable very easily. So is Excal now. But most of the Warframes you get early on, because right off the bat, you start the game, you start on Earth, you go down through Venus, you get Rhino at Venus. Do not leave Venus until you have all the Rhino parts. You should be farming the Jackal. He is super easy. You gotta shoot the legs and shoot him. That's it. And Rhino, in my opinion, should be the first frame that anyone builds. Just because, I mean, you get him and a decent shotgun like the heck, and you just go through the star map, and everything is obtainable at that point. Very easily. And solo. If you go public, and, you know, if that's what you like to do, I recommend doing that with mostly defense missions, survival missions, if you know you have an understanding where it's like, okay, we're gonna stay for 20 minutes, then peace out. And there you go. But
Yeah. But back to the main point. Most Warframes are easily accessible without having to pay money for, which in today's current lineup of games, that's not a very common thing.
no.
Even though I feel like I should be. I feel like and now I can't say this for Warframe because Warframe is free, but for other games,
Yeah.
if you pay money for the game, you should have access to all the stuff in the game.
Exactly.
I'm not opposed to a grind. I'm not opposed to working towards something.
Yeah.
Because that adds depth and interest into the game, but Warframe's able to do that on a free-to-play system. And literally, I don't think, other than cosmetics, there's anything locked behind a paywall.
No, not as far as gameplay wise.
Yeah.
No. I would still argue that the Kavats, for example, like getting one of those organically is a bit of a grind.
It is a bit of a grind, but if you look at the Kavats right now, I was fortunate enough to get
Samika.
the Smika early on, and that has been, for me anyway, the most useful companion. Just the benefits from it, the buffs that you get, the crit buffs, being able to clear out an entire room with 2 shots because you're red critting for 3,000 each hit from a shotgun, and then of course the ability for the cat to bring you a rare resource. Sitting in a mission for 30 minutes and,
And then
having your cat
double all pickups and stuff.
having your cat, bring you, 15 argon crystals.
In 1 20-minute survival in the void.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, you're not going to use all the 15 argon crystals before they disappear from your inventory, but because argon, for some reason, still disintegrates if you don't use it within 2 days. So if you get argon crystals and you have something that needs argon, use it. Do not sit on that.
And while on the topic of grinding here, I just want to say that grinding for Atlas is a pain in the butt because no one wants to do that public mission, and it takes like 15 minutes to solo kill that guy.
And you're an Arcwing.
Yes.
Which that gives its own. I mean, Arcwing for me is something that I like if I do it like twice a week. 1 mission, 2 times a week, if that.
I like to limit that to maybe 2 missions a year.
Okay, so you're of the camp that Arcwing is a terrible mode and they need to remove it?
No, I'm by no means against Arcwing. Arcwing reminds me of the sort of space missions that you could do in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I used to play that religiously. I'm just not good at Arcwing.
The controls right now, like, so whenever it first came out, I really liked it. Like, I did not mind, like, because it was like you were on like a level plane and you could just kind of like go up and down, and it had space had gravity to it essentially. But that's not like the current state that it's in. And I think we're in like what, Arcwing like 2.5 or something like that, where it's they reworked it, and then it was, you had too much movement and people were getting sick because you could just move your mouse in a circle and then you could rotate your Warframe and Arcwing upside down, and then the map is now upside down and you're totally disoriented. And you would do that just making turns. So I think they tweaked that recently. I'm not sure when, because this was a couple months before I came back to the game, and
Meaning a few months before I started playing this game.
A few months before you started playing. So, and Arcwing is now, it feels like space. Like you don't stop immediately whenever you take off the boosters. You just kind of, you keep going, and you have to like thrust backwards actually to come to us. You have to brake essentially. But yeah, I don't know. Arcwing's not bad, but Atlas though.
I mean, controversial topic here, but is Atlas 2 OP?
No.
Okay.
He's he's okay. He falls into the okay category for me. Is he worth the grind? Is he worth paying plat for? No. So that's where he falls into it with me. I mean, even with his work, his rework, he doesn't really stand out on his own. I mean, you get your little rock minions, you put up a rock wall,
Build a
you
wall.
punch things. If Trump were to play Warframe, he would definitely be playing Atlas. That's for sure. But, because, I mean, little hands.
And on that note, now a quick message from our sponsors. Great! There's no one here.
No one's listening to us at all.
Just like Warframe PvP.
Yup. Just like, well, all, 4 people that play it. I'm sure they have a good time.
All dozens of them.
All dozens of them. Nobody plays Lunera, though. And I like Lunera, and nobody plays it. But occasionally, you get on, and there'll be like 2 other people playing, and you have a good time, and then one person leaves, and then it's just you and another guy circle jerking a ball. One of you's good, the other guy's terrible.
Which one are you?
Sadly, I'm the one that's good, and then the other guy gets pissed off and leaves, and then I'm all alone. It's
Must be a hard life.
It's lonely, Lunero. It's lonely.
But on the note of PvP, I've personally not gone into PvP, but just listening to other people and then seeing comments on it online, it's apparent that no one plays PvP.
No.
Is that something that, D can fix? Is it an issue of it being unbalanced, or is it just not fun?
I think it's a bit of a both. It's a little unbalanced from my experience of it. I haven't touched it in a year, I think. Occasionally I'll hop on and make a little loadout and go into play PvP and just get totally wrecked because the people that actually play PvP are really good at it. But yeah, it's not what Warframe's about, in my opinion. Warframe's supposed to play like Diablo, where it's like a looter shooter. You go out, you get your loot, come back, you make stuff that makes it easier to get loot, and you go get more loot. That's what Warframe's about.
All right, well, so being how knowledgeable you are with this game and how long you've been playing it, do you have any tips for beginning players that might be listening?
Certainly. Play the game a little bit before you decide to spend money on it. And if you're going to spend money on it, get the Tenno Gen cosmetics that you can get through Steam. Or if you get a platinum sale from one of your daily logon rewards, which, by the way, you will at least get one of those within the first 10 days of logging into Warframe. They like to say it's not rigged, but I think it's rigged. But yeah, like, support DE if you like the game. To play the game, you don't have to spend money. And to play the game, you just have to play the game. And watching a guide will help, especially one that starts from base 1, which is my goal on my other channel, is to actually show newbies exactly what to do to make it easier for their lives, and to actually explain some of the systems that DE doesn't really explain, and they're kind of notorious for having new player unfriendly systems, like modding. They don't go into detail about that. Even the mission types, like they kind of explain it through playing. You'll just figure it out. But yeah, it's just.
So you mentioned that you have another channel. Do you want to take a little bit to explain what you're going to do with
0
that?
videos on it right now, and
But I mean, what are the future plans for your channel?
the future plans for Cephalon Helby is I'm going to do a running running series on it that's going to go into guiding new players through the game, step by step, day by day, what to expect from it. And you'll be able to reference it, going through what your goals should be, especially like early on for new players. Like your first main goal, clearing the star map. That is the main goal. Now, secondary goals are clearing the planet junction so you can get through to the next planet, clearing all that planet, and then grinding out the Warframe from that planet. But yeah, and just building weapons, getting your mastery rank up, and you do that by leveling weapons, Warframes, Sentinels and Companions, Arcwings. You actually get a little bit of mastery from clearing all the nodes. Now, not that much, but it does add up. So, and eventually you hit mastery rank 25 and you look like you know what you're doing, and yeah, you just go from there.
Alright.
What about you? Do you have a channel to plug there, Virgil?
No.
Okay.
So I think another good tip for beginners, at least, and this is just something coming from...
You're a fairly new player yourself. So
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I think what you're telling me right now is, what we discussed when I first started playing the game. So I would like to think I'm not a terrible player. So that should tell you that what Hildy over here is talking about is actually pertinent and useful and good information. So definitely check them out.
Yeah.
But I think a tip that I could suggest, now granted, again, not an expert at Warframe by any means, but a general rule or a general tip that new players should receive playing any game regardless. Now, granted, this is more directed towards PC players, not console players, but knowing your keybinds, getting your keybinds set up, getting comfortable with how you actually play. The more comfortable you are with how the controls work, the better you're going to be, especially in a game like Warframe where a lot of it is just based off movement. Yeah, you can just sprint around shooting things, but wouldn't it be better to glide through the air, do a couple somersaults?
Bullet jump, double jump.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, especially with Warframe. Like Warframe, you need to be comfortable with the movement, because in the higher levels, in sorties, for example, if you stand still, you're dead. Doesn't matter what frame you're on. Maybe with the exception of Rhino, you can take like 2 hits, and then you'll die.
Yes.
But yeah, we've experienced that, haven't we, Virgil?
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
Loki doesn't last long.
No.
Oh,
But-
you're on stealth? Dead.
Yep. But Loki also was one of the fastest frames. So...
Gotta go fast.
Little speedy boy. He's not Volt. Volt's speedy boy. And Nez is speedy trap boy. But... yeah. Like, you have to be very comfortable. Like, the key bindings that I have set up, like, I've gotten so used to them since I moved it. Like I played with, like, the default key bindings for the longest time. And I switched it up and made it a little bit more comfortable for myself about 2 years ago, and I've kept that the entire time. If I buy a new mouse and the keys on the mouse are a little different, I'll have to like switch things around. But besides that, once you get comfortable with the movement of Warframe, then you're pretty much set. Doesn't matter what Warframe you play, what weapon you have. If you can move around, you'll be fine. So yeah, good. Get your key bindings sorted.
All right, so another good tip that I know you specifically told me, Hildy, when I first started playing, and it's something that I like that DE does. Not a lot of free-to-play games will start you out with the premium currency, but you get a small amount, I think it's about 50, that you can spend on whatever you want to spend it on. However...
Caveat to that is you can't trade the original 50. So you have to spend it on certain things.
All
so,
right. But the things that you told me that if I was never going to buy platinum again, and I was just going to go off that base 50,
yep.
You suggested...
I suggested you get 1 extra Warframe slot, you pick a Warframe that you're going to plug a potato into, which is an Orokin Catalyst. No, Orokin Reactor is the ones for Warframes. Now you get these, but you're not going to get them all the time, and they're worth 20 plat, and you can buy that in the market. What I recommend, you buy one Warframe slot, so you'll have 3 Warframes early on. You pick your favorite one, which should be Rhino, and you plug an Orokin Reactor into them. That's 20 plat. So now you're down to 10 plat. Here's what you do. You farm relics, you sell stuff for cheap, get 2 plat, and then buy weapon slots, because they cost 12, but you get 2 right off the bat. And you can also get a free weapon and a weapon slot if you go to the promo codes and type in free sword. And that gets you a heat sword with an Orokin reactor in it, so it has double the mod capacity, and you get the weapon slot from it. So the whole goal is to level the heat sword and then get rid of it because it's terrible. But
it's mastery fodder.
It is mastery fodder. A lot of the weapons are mastery fodder. Not too many now, but a lot of them, like the MK1 series, clearly all mastery fodder because they have just direct clones that are better.
Yeah. All right, so another thing that I would suggest to new players, and again, everything that I've been suggesting applies to multiple games, but this is more directed towards Warframe. From the start, you should try and find a clan to join. Not only will that give you access to more players to help you do stuff, clear nodes, fight bosses, just have a nice community of people that you play with, but it also gives you access to more stuff to build. Certain items, certain Warframes, weapons, keys for future nodes can only be built in the clan labs. Mm-hmm. So find a clan, join it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think probably one of the most friendly to new player clans that I know of happens to be a clan called Tide Pod Gods.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, isn't the warlord Held91?
I think so.
Yeah. You should message him in game, and he'll get you added. But little startup clan that has a clan obsession. Clem obsession is what I meant to say. But yeah, and you're going into like get yourself into a clan so that you have the community. Like, if you just go into regional chat and just say, I need help doing this, most likely someone's going to respond. And they will either give you advice or they will join your group and help you through the node.
That is something that I've noticed. I think that Warframe has one of the friendliest communities that I've played with.
Oh, by far. You'll find toxic players from time to time, and it's kind of like seeing a unicorn, because you're gonna play, you're gonna find all these good players, and then bam, there's a toxic unicorn, and he's giving you shit for moving off your node while you're playing Interception, and occasionally you'll see it in regional chat where it's like, just the other day, I saw some guy, it was like, oh, guess all the scrubs are online now. And it's like, okay, nobody's playing with that guy. Like, nobody likes him.
So what you're saying is it's the inverse of trade chat.
Exactly. With less politics. Much less politics.
So I think the point we're trying to make here is just Warframe and the general Warframe community, it's just full of good people and helpful, friendly people, and it's a good experience for new players. Well, yeah.
Again, some of the other veteran players will say that the new player experience is terrible and that we're not getting new players coming in. I don't see that. Like, the Warframe community is growing, especially with how public knowledge it is, like how much it's in public knowledge right now that DE is a great company. People are attracted to that. So, yeah, Like you have to respect DE for what they've done and the community that they've brought into existence, where you can get on and play a really good game with total strangers and you can actually have good conversations. Like, you just don't get that nowadays whenever you're in a 10-minute match and people are yelling at you to get on the point and, you know, why are you dying all the time? Like you
stop standing in fire.
Yeah, just stop standing. Like, people don't do that in Warframe. Like, it's, again, occasionally you find a toxic unicorn, but they're few and far between.
All right, so now that we've been rambling on for a better part of an hour, I just want to say, if you stuck with us and listened through all of this, thank you. This is a new thing for both of us. We're trying something out. We both been looking at getting into doing YouTube as a hobby, and just found that this was probably the best avenue of approach for that.
Nice creative outlet. I like the idea of a podcast. I've been wanting to make a podcast for years. Just didn't have the right person to do it with, or the.
And you still don't.
And I still don't. And if you like to listen to us ramble for the better part of an hour, please hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you can.
Share it with your friends, share it with your mom, share it with your 3rd grade math teacher. Yeah. Just help us out here.
We greatly appreciate it, and it'll help this channel grow, and we are just a seedling at this point. So
just baby Clem. All alone in this world.
Yep. It's nowhere to go but up.
Oh. Try me.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out our other ones on YouTube and SoundCloud.